Hello guys, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the pressure that I feel when I'm working. We all have a lot of work as an entrepreneur. If it's not happening to you, it's going to happen to you. I, I will tell you a little bit more about my life and how I end up doing what I'm doing. Everything is a process. I think God puts you in different places, obviously at the right moment. When you may think it's not the right moment, it is the right moment. But you don't understand that until later, if you know what I mean. Pretty sure it happened to all people. So, what I'm going through right now, something that most people go through in their life as an entrepreneur, and it's, thank God, the abundance of work. You have a lot of projects, you have a lot of clients, but if you don't meet deadlines, your clients can get upset, and you have to understand and be mindful that these clients they need also to finish the job on time because they need to deliver their projects and build whatever they're doing in times that they had maybe put in contracts. So there are different ways to solve that problem. One is just to hire more employees and do the job, or not getting too much workload. As an analogy, I can tell you what happens if you run a hospital and you have 20 doctors and you only have one patient. That's not a problem. They can take care of that. But what happens if suddenly there is an emergency in town, and instead of having 20 patients, you get 100 patients? Well, if you don't want to increase the size of your staff, because you may say, well, this is only temporary. You obviously have to ask your staff to work harder in the same amount of time, assuming that it's only temporary. But what happens when it is not temporary, and you can see that the number of patients continue coming every single week? Well, as I said, either you burn your doctors or you hire more of them, or you just say that you cannot pay. Well, I don't know, this analogy may not even work in the medical industry. I don't know if you can refuse from attending people at the hospital, but now in the real world, what I work in the design business, you can always say no and not take more projects. The problem is that if you say no, that client is not coming back to you ever, because they say, well, that guy is busy, he didn't take care of me, I will have to look for someone else, and they will go with that someone else. You need to have a business that can be replicated. You need to show your staff how to do things, and they can work on their own little by little. And as soon as you hire more people, they can also be trained by those same employees, because you cannot be a one-man show. If you are, you will get burned. You won't be able to deliver. Now, there is also different ways where I think that you should put an end to what it could be an abuse. But remember, as I said, everybody's busy and everybody wants everything for yesterday. And sometimes you can say yes, but most of the time you have to say no. Me personally, I found, and you can go online and search for an app that we use. There are many of them, but one that for me so far has been helpful is called Trello. If you go into Trello, you can generate cards, and you can see how you can put different projects and put deadlines, and those deadlines I usually put it like in 2 weeks after we accept the project. And you should try to stick to that. So when someone comes and says, okay, I want this for tomorrow, or can you do it this week, can see how many projects you have in the pipeline, and then you can see if you can accommodate that or not. By the way, at the moment that I was taking this video, and I have to say that I'm not affiliated to Trello. It's just a recommendation that I'm saying based on what I use. So the only way that you have to sustain more projects and being able to deliver them on time is to hire more people, if you want to accept those projects. I remember being on vacation a few years ago with my wife and my in-laws, and my father-in-law was seeing that I was working a lot while on vacation. I was taking a lot of calls. I was always on the computer during the day and night. And I don't forget when he told me that, he said, George, even if you make a little bit less money, a little bit less percentage on one of those projects, or in some of the projects that I was working on, but you have more people helping you do that, at the end, you will be happier, even though if you make a little bit less money. And he has been a very successful business owner, and he has a lot of employees, and he travels a lot, but he is able to enjoy life, and at the same time getting enough money for what he needs. I think we all have more than enough on what we really need, but we always want more. And that's a problem, that we may never be satisfied. If you ask someone, do you have enough money? And doesn't matter if it's poor or a medium class or a rich person, I think nobody can really have enough money. No, I'm not a billionaire, but if I were a billionaire, I would probably be in a situation where I'm doing more projects, I want more money. So that's human nature. I think we are never satisfied, but we should think about that no matter how much work you do and no matter how much money you have, think about where you were 10 years ago in your life. I'm pretty sure most of the people who are watching this video, you had less money and you were as happy as you are right now. So getting a higher salary doesn't mean that you're making more money. I remember I was talking to this guy recently, saying, hey, do you know that this guy that we know each other, he left this company, now he's working for someone else and he's making, I don't know, like maybe $20,000 more. He told me, well, he's actually not making $20,000 more, because he's probably now spending $20,000 more. So he may end up being in the same place where he is right now. So remember that. It's not how much money you make, it's also how much money you save. Now, in that sense, I will also tell you this, don't try to minimize the cost in anything you do, because there is a certain limit to that. For example, let's say that you have a business where your expenses are, let's put $100. That's all you spend, $100. And you make in profit, your net income is $1,000. That's after expenses. So you make 1,100, you only spend $100, your net profit is 1,000. And you said, oh, I want to make more money by reducing my expenses. So what are you going to do? You're going to spend a lot of time just reducing those $100. And you will end up making 1,100, because the most that you can reduce your expenses is bringing them to zero, which is impossible. But this is just for the matter of this example. Imagine that you are able to bring down your expenses to zero. So you're making 1,100. What if you spend that time, forget about reducing your expenses to zero. What if you spend all the time that it's going to take you to reduce expense, using that time to increase your sales. If you increase your sales from 1,000 to 2,000, now you're going to have sales of 2,100 when you are going to be only spending 100 and probably a little bit plus because of that increment on profit that is related. I mean, there is always a relation between income and expense, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be making much more money as your net income if you dedicate the time to increase sales than dedicating time to reduce expenses. So when it comes to hire more people, I would recommend you to hire subcontractors. Employees obviously have a little bit more of an expense that you have to account for. Subcontractors are people that you hire based on projects for maybe some time, hours here and there. You will see when you hire one of them that you're going to have a lot of work dedicated to that person. You will see how that person is going to help you a lot in things that you may never thought he was going to be able to do, and you will end up just hiring a second person. If that happens, I'm telling you to consider hiring them maybe as an employee. But what I'm a little bit jealous on people working for me and working for someone else at the same time. Nowadays, you know that people like to work from home, and I'm okay with that. But I like when someone is working for me that is working only for me. When someone is working for you and for someone else, or maybe 3, 4, 5 people, and they're working from home, how can you discern on really how long did it take to do your project or do someone else's project? I mean, and there is no way that you can. There is no way that you can verify that. And if you try to verify that by maybe some applications applications online that help you visualize if the person is working or not, if he's sitting in the computer or if he's watching Netflix. If you have to go through that micromanagement, then honestly, I think your business is not that worth it. So try to avoid that. Try to get people to work for you that actually you measure their progress by work getting complete. If it doesn't get complete in the amount of time that you know that they are supposed to do it, then fire them. But try not at something that, I mean, if you can make someone work, it's better to make that person work. Make that person do the job right. It's always better than firing. If not, you will end up firing everybody and always getting new people, and they don't know what they're doing. And when they know what they're doing, it may be the time to fire them again. You don't want to do that. For example, the problem that I'm having right now is not too much on the workforce. I think I have a good team, I have a great team, thank God. And I thank God every day for the people that He put me to work with. We work as a team. And the problem that I have right now is to be able to manage my time with respect to emails, text through my phone, text through WhatsApp. We have a lot of international clients, and they send me a lot of text through WhatsApp and emails. So those 4 platforms, emails, text, regular text through WhatsApp, and calls, and phone calls. To handle the 4 of them in a day, it's almost impossible for me. So I have been able to, even being very organized, to handle 3 of the 4, and not the 4 of them on the same day. So I always getting accumulation of either emails or phone calls or text. If I ever find a way to be more organized and to use maybe artificial intelligence in a better way, or use tools that will allow me to track all those 4 applications, I will let you know through one of these videos. One thing that we have done a little bit different, and we started this about, I would say, 2 weeks ago, is to create a ticketing system. I'm going to show you that ticket down below, the address, so you can have an idea what is that we do. And when I get too many calls on, let's say I'm on a call with a client and I get a call from someone else, and I know I'm not able to answer the call, I created one of those free written texts on my iPhone that tells the person that I'm not available and to please create a ticket for us. That ticket, basically what it does is to redirect the person to a website in our domain that allows them to create a ticket. Once the ticket is created, the ticket goes into Trello, the platform that I told you a few minutes ago that we were using, and that sits there expecting, obviously, that either me or my project manager will take care of that. So what is that we avoid? What is that we gain by doing that? Where usually we get a little bit of time not having to talk to the client. Talking to a client sometimes can take, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour. And it's something that, if you put it in text and you synthesize, I don't know if that's the right word, you can reduce that 30 minutes or that 45 minutes to maybe a few seconds of a text inside the ticket. You know what you have to do. You get the information, the name of the client, the email, and the phone number, and then you call them when you think it's the right time. Usually we try to respond to tickets the same day. So at the end, you have to treat your client with respect. You have to be honest with the deadlines. When you have more work, you have to tell them, and sometimes they understand, sometimes they don't. And also be respectful with pricing. Don't take advantage of situations where the client may be in a rush to finish something, and so we don't do that. I think we give always an honest fee for what we do, and you always have to know that there is no stupid, that they know if you are honest or not. And if someone comes back to you and say, well, it happens to me a lot, you tell them, okay, this is the fee, and that person tells you, oh, but that's too expensive. I always have the same answer back. Okay, how do you know I'm expensive? Do you happen to have any other quote? The answer 100% of the time is no, they don't. So if they don't have any quote to compare ours with, how are you going to tell me that I'm expensive? How do I know that a car is expensive? I don't know. Any car, just because it's $1 million. If you don't have the money to buy it, then don't say it's expensive. Well, it may be expensive for you, but that car, I'm pretty sure it has some features that other cars don't have. So if you compare that car equally with someone else, with another car with the same features, it may be on the same price range. So remember that. Don't abuse, but don't let people abuse you. That's my advice. And you have to remind your clients that even if it's the same client, but this person didn't call you in the past maybe 2 years, and you tell them, okay, this is the fee, and it's for the same thing that you did for them 2 years ago, and they see, I don't know, there is a difference in price of $2,000, $3,000, whatever, and they said, oh, but why are you charging me this much? It used to be this different just a few years ago. Well, you tell them what happened in the United States since 2 years ago till we are now. And I'm not politicizing this channel, but everybody knows, Democrats and Republicans, that we are paying a lot more for the same thing that we used to pay a few years ago. So if the insurance companies, and what I'm filming this video in Miami, Florida, if insurance companies have double, if your professional liability insurance, general liability, all those insurance have double, triple, why can't you charge more to your client? I think that's honest. So one of these days I'm going to tell you how is that I end up being an entrepreneur. It's a long story. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you enjoyed this feedback and that is helpful for you. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I check YouTube every day, and we post a video, I would say, almost every day. Feel free to contact us, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and give us a like.